Good morning, customizable toys. Today, I finally address what a lot of you have been claiming about this new NPC, which is that it's not an entirely new NPC at all, and instead, it's an old NPC we've seen before, with some evidence suggesting we've seen it in episodes 3 and 4, and some people thinking we've even seen it in the pilot. Now, by this, people don't mean one of the many millions of replicated NPCs with this mannequin design that we can see in the background, but this particular mannequin might actually be something of a recurring character in the show, so let's break it down. My name is Deepcut, in the circus they call me Deep in the Box, and real quick, I want to thank you all for getting us to 800,000 subscribers. If you haven't subbed yet, do so now so I can thank you when we get to 900,000. Or if you have TikTok, we're still trying to reach 100,000 followers there. Check it out, link in the pinned comment down below. Now, in the digital circus, an NPC isn't super clearly defined, but when the fans use the term, the assumption is that it refers to a programmed character by Kane, each running different levels of sophisticated artificial intelligence based on what Kane put into them. NPC itself just means non-player character, meaning a character that one of the players can't take the form of. But in context, this can be used to refer to different things, especially within the show. Now, NPCs can have just about any form that you can imagine, but the default model that all characters are given seems to be this wooden mannequin. This isn't just the case for NPCs, where they're able to make up most of the characters in the background that Kane doesn't want to actually design something for, but also the player characters. As throughout the hallway where the player characters have their rooms, we can also see what looks like empty rooms with a mannequin head instead of a character's head, indicating that this model is also used as a placeholder even though it's for a player character. While Gummy Goo and his Candy Kingdom crew were said to have a more sophisticated program than any AI that came before them, any NPC given this same kind of code, even a blank mannequin, can think just as deeply as Gummy Goo, as it has nothing to do with their models. And what's interesting is that these mannequin types are generally going to be given a very shallow identity, at least I assume. It's possible each mannequin is given some diversity of traits, but I don't imagine Kane puts as much time into each of the mannequins' backstories as he does with more interactive characters. Even when Gummy Goo returned, it was with a much simpler backstory it seemed than he had in the Candy Kingdom, to accommodate just the journey of ordering some food and returning to his spawn point. The thing is that without a backstory, I think it's actually easier for an NPC to evolve beyond their basic learning honestly, as they have less of a history to question or to distract them from the truth. In fact, with very little backstory meant to just run for a few minutes or even just a few hours, it seems likely that an NPC will eventually outgrow its identity and start to look at its surroundings and try to figure out what's really going on. And that's basically what a lot of people think is going on with this new NPC. At the end of episode 5, this NPC somehow made it back to the digital circus, something Kane had said at the beginning of the episode would be extremely dangerous.
The Toy Box character wants us to leave the other intelligent AIs to run for a prolonged period of time.
Disgusting!
It's something Kane already emphasized in episode 2 as well, when Kane first killed Gummy Goo, so obviously this is really important. Previously, I had theorized that this is the NPC's first time getting into the circus, or that it was even Gummy Goo with some sort of model swap, but go watch my previous video for more information on that. For today's video, we're instead going to discuss the idea that this isn't the first time this mannequin has made it into the circus, and that they've actually been seen multiple times before. Now, the first instance where people believe the mannequin might have been in the circus is all the way back in the pilot, about 16 minutes in. This is the point where Pomni is looking around at different rooms trying to find Kane. Now, some of these things seem like experiments or ideas that Kane is working on, as he even tries to create an exit and office space in the digital circus lobby instead of in a dedicated adventure area. But at the time Pomni is doing this, it's important to note that Kane had also set up what he calls an in-house adventure. While he doesn't want NPCs living in the circus, he does apparently allow them in for little games like Gather the Gloinks, such as he was forcing the gang to play in the pilot. With this came other NPCs as well, such as a barrel of monkeys that Pomni finds. Because of that, it seems like these rooms may have been put in as part of Kane's setup specifically for this hide-and-seek style game where they're looking for the Gloinks, creating distractions and places to explore that have nothing to do with anything and really just take up more of their time. When Pomni enters one of these rooms, there's a mannequin bathing for some reason across a tile floor, with a tragedy mask turning towards Pomni and screaming. Now, me personally, this feels like a one-off gag, especially with the mysterious face that flies towards Pomni, but if an NPC wanted to enter the circus, it would make sense to me that it's an NPC that has been there before. When Kane uses an NPC, he erases all the memories and gives them a fresh start. But in the world of the show, I like to think that if he uses one file over and over again, basically the same set of ones and zeros for a different NPC character each time, over and over again, that the file will begin to retain certain information, even with Kane erasing and implanting new personas. This is why in my previous video that I thought the NPC could basically be Gummigoo, the programming behind him just being swapped to a different model as needed. But if it's not Gummigoo, it makes sense that this NPC is one who was in the circus lobby before instead of just in an adventure area. However, after episode 1, we do see what looks like this actual mannequin from episode 5, something that seems a bit obvious because in both cases the mannequin is peeking around the corner and spying on the characters like at the end of episode 5. I've heard some people claim you can even find this mannequin in episode 2, but I can confirm they are in episodes 3 and 4, both at the beginning of the episodes instead of the end like episode 5. Which makes sense considering these big adventure episodes mostly have them leaving the circus, and this would be the only time for us to see this character in the background. In episode 3, it's only about 1 minute and 5 seconds in when Jax is talking about the crazy weird things that happen when the characters hold their breath. In the background, if you zoom in, the mannequin is clearly watching everyone and is seemingly trying to hide it, like he's peeking around the corner so he can pull himself back if anyone notices. This is mad suspicious behavior, and he does the same thing in the very next episode at just about 30 seconds in. This one is harder to see as he's standing in front of some yellow and nearly blends in with it, but once again, you can see that it's this mannequin NPC peeking around the corner to spy on everyone. A lot of people in the fandom are throwing shade at Kane after they notice this, because in the pilot, he bragged about having these all-seeing eyes where no one can escape his notice. But here he is losing track of an NPC who is basically just spying on everyone from right around the corner. If this is the same NPC that was bathing in the pilot, they may have just blended in with the chaos of the Gloinks game, and maybe they've been running around in the lobby for years already. Now before we go, I want to talk about the idea that this character might actually be one of the player characters who just didn't take on a specific form. This is something I see a lot in recent videos as people think that this mannequin has a room in the digital circus, but they don't realize that these many rooms with mannequin heads on them that we see in the hallway are likely just meant to be placeholders for when real characters enter the circus. Before Pomni got there, her door likely just had a blank mannequin on it, but that doesn't mean a mannequin was living there. We even see an image of a mannequin over a door in the intermission from episode 5 as Jax runs past it to his friend Ribbit, with this mannequin face appearing next to other doors in the pilot surrounding our normal characters and some of the abstracted ones. So it's not just one room for one mannequin that everyone seems to be not noticing. Whoever this NPC is, I'm really excited to see what kind of trouble they cook up, so let me know in the comments down below what you think they're up to, and if any of the theories are good, maybe we'll make another video about it. If you want more cartoon universe nonsense, be sure to check out our TikTok account where we're aiming to get 100,000 followers, so help us get that started. Link in the pinned comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.